Hello, this is Mr. Buffington from Simplify Academy, and today we are multiplying decimals. We will look at how to multiply decimals and then combine that into word problems for our lesson today. First off, the steps for multiplying decimals. If I have a multiplication expression like this, 1.5 times 2, I'm going to first rewrite the expression and ignore the decimal. So although I include the decimal in it, just don't even worry about the decimal being there. Just write it out. 1.5 times 2. With it written vertically like this, I can go ahead now and multiply. 1.5 times 2. But remember, I'm ignoring the decimal, so this is like 15 times 2, which gives me 30. Now we have to go back and actually think about the decimal a little bit. And what we're going to do is count the number of digits on the right of the decimal. We don't have to care that what the number is, but how many digits are on the right of a decimal. In this case, the only decimal I have is 1.5. And the 5 is one digit on the right of the decimal. And that's important. We count how many digits are on the right of the decimal. There's 1. So in my final answer, I'm going to have 1 digit on the right of the decimal. That means my decimal goes right here. And the digit on the right of the decimal is the 0. So the answer to this 1.5 times 2 is 3.0, or in other words, 3. Let's move on to another example. If I have 7.96 times 12, these are both larger numbers. I'm going to follow exactly the same steps. So I rewrite it ignoring the decimal, which means I write it like this. And from now on, I'm going to pretend the decimal isn't there until the end when I have to count it. When I multiply 796 times 12, I will get 9,952. Then I count how many digits are there on the right of the decimal. In the number 7 and 96 hundredths, or 7.96, there are 2 digits on the right of the decimal, the 9 and the 6. So because there's 2 digits on the right of the decimal, I put the same number of digits on the right of the decimal inside my final answer. 2 digits. The decimal will go right there, and my final answer is 99.52, or 99 and 52 hundredths. One other type of multiplication that you might get is one where it says a place value, like this, 7/10 times 4. If you're ever given a question like that, it's a good review of the place value. So we're going to rewrite it, set it up ignoring the decimal just like we did for all of the others, and then we'll count the decimals at the end. So how do we write it? How do we set this up? 7/10. 7/10 is 0.7, or just 0.7, times 4 is written in this way. Ignoring the decimals, that is 7 times 4, which gives me 28. I'm going to count. How many digits on the right of the decimal? In this case, there's 1 digit on the right of the decimal. It's the 7. So I'm going to put the decimal so that there's that same number on the right. In other words, I'm going to put the decimal in between the 2 and the 8. So the 8 is the only digit on the right of the decimal. And there we go. Now, when we're talking about word problems with multiplying decimals, most word problems with decimals revolve around money. Most of them. So let's take a look at this. You and 4 friends want to go out. You have $13.78 each. How much money do you have altogether? We are going to write this out and ignore the decimal, right? Just like we did for all the other ones. Notice with this question, it's a little bit tricky. I have $13.78, or $13.78 times 5. And that's an important distinction because the question said you and 4 friends want to go out. If it's you and 4 friends, that means it's 5 total people. That's one trick that you're going to see in word problems, so I wanted to put it in the lesson so that you're prepared for it. If it's you and 3 friends, it's 4 total people. If it's you and 4 friends, it's 5 total people. You are a person, and a person's a person, like Horton the elephant said. So you are going to make sure to add yourself to the number of friends that you have to get that. That's probably the most common mistake to be made in this question. Now we're going to multiply, and we get 6,890. Remember, when we multiply, we are ignoring the decimal. But then at the end, we count how many digits are on the right of the decimal. There's 78, right? 7 and the 8. That's 2 digits, the 7 and the 8. So in our final answer, we're going to have 2 digits on the right of the decimal. There. So you have a total of $68.90 because we took me and my 4 friends, so all 5 of us, and we multiplied the number together. A couple things to remember. When you're working with multiplying times a decimal, first ignore the decimal, then multiply like normal, then you count the digits and you put the decimal back into your answer. All right? I hope that video was helpful for you. Make sure to do the questions from the worksheet so that you can work through those problems. And if you struggle with any of those problems, watch the video about the answer key, and I'll walk through each of those word problems. Have a wonderful day.